Hello, everyone. Welcome home. Come sit with me, and let's talk for a while. Grab a snack, relax, and let's chat about nostalgia. This scene in Super Mario Galaxy is about the most nostalgic thing of all time for me. It takes me back to a time when I was younger, when I had nothing to worry about. This is my favorite game of all time, and the item that I hold the most nostalgia from, Super Mario Galaxy. To give a little background, it was 2007. In December, I remember sitting on the couch and seeing my cousins playing this new game, this new Mario game, where there was space everywhere, and I love space. I still do to this day. And it looked so interesting. The way that Mario was moving around the planets. The way that everything had such a peaceful bliss to it. This opening section will always be the most nostalgic because it's the one I remember the most as a kid. And that shot that we just previously looked at, it reminds me of the somber loneliness that accompanies the great joy you get from nostalgia. I remember a few months later, after seeing the game for the first time, I talked to my mom about it, and I begged her to please let me play Super Mario Galaxy, please let me have this for the Wii. And in 2008, February 14th, my mother had a gift for me. I opened it on Valentine's Day, and there it was. Super Mario Galaxy. Inside of this blockbuster case, the smile on my mom's face when she gave it to me was absolutely unforgettable. To this day, I still have my copy of Super Mario Galaxy in my blockbuster case, and it is one of the most meaningful things that I own. I remember waking up before school, going downstairs, and seeing if I could get one more Power Star to get me one step closer to saving Princess Peach, even though Rosalina is way better. See if I could squeeze it in right before I left for school. I remember the melodic tunes, the incredible and nearly flawless gameplay with exhilarating level design. Of course, I'm a little biased. As I grow older, and all these new games release, and my love for video games still stays the same, Mario Galaxy will always hold a special place in my heart. It will always be that game that I was able to reflect on, that will always transport me back to that time. When everything was so much more black and white, so much easier, so much more simple. I think nostalgia is a very interesting concept. It can come from sights, feelings, tastes, and even smells. One interesting example is around my house we have certain hand soaps that remind me of certain years. For instance, last week, I was washing my hands and I caught a whiff of summer of 2017. It's interesting that these scents can return us to these times, that there are feelings that we can attach to games, objects, and, as previously stated, smells that will stay with us forever, that whenever we experience these again, it will return us back to that time. I think nostalgia goes hand in hand with escapism. I think when you get nostalgic for something, you catch a glimpse of the simplicity of adolescence. You have nothing to worry about. You have no super important tests. You don't have to pay rent. You don't have to worry about your bosses, your coworkers, your work. You don't have to worry about your future as much. You don't have to worry about all of these things that you now have to worry about as an adult. As a child, you're able to experience everything with a certain type of wonder. The rose-tinted glasses, as they say. And of course, this can lead to biases, as I previously mentioned. And you can remember pieces of media better than they actually are. But there's nothing wrong with that. It just means more to you than it might mean to someone else. And that's alright. As nostalgia acts like a time capsule. Except, instead of preserving other objects, nostalgia preserves feelings. And the time capsules can be everywhere. Can be many things. It's not just a box. It's so interesting that, unlike time capsules, Nostalgia can be shared. There are multiple things that you and somebody else might view as extremely nostalgic, something that just takes you back. Maybe it's Otter Pops. Maybe it's another game. Maybe it's Wii Sports. Maybe it's Mario Kart. Maybe it's Super Mario Sluggers. Maybe it's a hand soap. Maybe it's an old cartoon. Maybe it's a location, your old backyard, your old cul-de-sac, your old park. Nostalgia is so amazing for that you and someone else can both be transported back together. It makes people appreciate certain medias more because it meant so much to them. It was an integral part of growing up for them, so it feels like it's part of them. It will always mean something special to someone. Always. But the sad thing about nostalgia is that it will never quite be the same. You can never play Super Mario Galaxy for the first time. It will always be nostalgic, but it will never be the same as it was the first time. But I also think there's a beauty to that. You can look back and reflect. You can remember how it was for the first time. And you might want it. You might yearn for the way it used to feel. But there's a beauty in the way it feels now. There's a beauty in making new memories. There's a beauty in new feelings. There's a beauty on moving forward. There's a beauty to everything. There is a beauty for experiencing it for the first time. But there's a beauty for experiencing it the second, the third, the fourth, and so on. And I think that's what nostalgia is all about. The beauty. The beauty of something that captured you so completely. The beauty of growing. The beauty of looking towards the past. The beauty of moving forward. Of making new memories. And just the beauty of life. That it was, as everyone says, magical. Nostalgia will always be footprints in our lives. How we were. How things were. What life was like. What our worries were then. What our worries are now. And how that footprint made us who we are today. And that is why nostalgia is so amazing. And why I love Super Mario Galaxy. Thanks for sitting with me. Thanks for having a chat. Until next time. Goodbye.